Excuse me?
Already outside the train station building, I looked remotely over my shoulder to see who had spoken out. Standing there was the girl from the train, the one the man had allegedly mistreated. At first, I thought she was calling out to someone else, but after looking around quickly, I found that I was the only one in front of her. I didn't know why she wanted to speak to me again. Granted, I did stand up for her, but surely she would have wanted to give her testimony against the man. So why had she gone out to speak to me? Yeah, I answered, as I turned a little to glance at the girl better.
Oh, well, I just wanted to thank you for what you did back there.
The girl timidly said back to me as she slightly bowed her head, loose blonde hair swaying forward beneath her white mop cap, as she did. It was nothing, really, I replied back truthfully, not at all sure how to react to a bow. Thanks to the awkwardness I felt, an uncomfortable feeling manifested in my chest. Despite the sudden discomfort, I still took the time to observe her properly, having not done so back in the train. Though she had blonde hair, she did not seem to be a foreigner like I was. She appeared around my age, but was not wearing any school uniform, a university student perhaps. Telling myself it was pointless to think about, I turned around fully to leave, thinking the conversation was over.
Wait!
Having taken a step forward, the girl's voice showed me otherwise. Yeah, I said again simply, growing more and more uncomfortable by the second. I was not one for conversations. The girl, as if sensing my discomfort, hesitated a little before speaking again.
Your uniform. You're a student at Gaidai Nishi High, right?
She asked quickly, referring to the black school clothes I was wearing. Is that all? I answered back, looking at her over my shoulder again, this time noticing her plum-colored dress, which complemented her figure rather nicely. I immediately scolded myself mentally for having such thoughts.
Well, yes,
the girl said in a puzzled tone. I kept observing her for a second, wondering why she would ask that of me. Seeing nothing that screamed wicked intentions, I decided to go ahead and answer. Yes, I'm a student there, I told the girl stoically, continuing as I began to walk away. I'm also going to be late. Are you okay? I mean, the guy was abusing you, right? I asked the girl as I stopped, wondering how she was handling the whole situation. It had to be somewhat traumatic.
Oh, well, you see, that man kinda just bumped into me, and his hand only grabbed my hip, but for all we know, he could have done that on purpose, right?
The girl answered with a puzzled frown, bringing her hand up to her mouth to think. As she contemplated her question, I stood there, dazed. It was possible that I had unknowingly condemned an innocent man to a reputation of a pervert. Great. Yeah. Anyways, I have to go. Don't let anyone take advantage of you again, okay? With that, I left, not giving her any chance to respond back. For some reason, I noticed another crow near me as I quickly paced away, this one eyeing me from the top of a street lamp. Ignoring the bird and reflecting over the whole matter as I proceeded down the busy sidewalk, I realized that the girl was the first person who has spoken to me with genuine kindness since I first moved there. In fact, she was probably the first person to hold a conversation with me in a long time. Did she even introduce herself? Stopping in my tracks, I found I kept referring back to the girl. Attempting to push any thought of her to the back of my mind, I continued on my way to school, but slowly those same thoughts resurfaced. Becoming more and more frustrated for some reason, I looked around for something to distract myself with, and found that I was at the main entrance of a park. Pausing, I stared at the entrance for a few moments. The people on the sidewalk just sidestepping around me, as if I was not even there. Slowly, I began walking into the public area. That was not my first time there. I had discovered Maruyama Park on the fourth day after I had arrived in Japan. I was just exploring the city then, and had accidentally stumbled upon it. It was a beautiful place, especially now that it was spring and the cherry blossoms were in full bloom. Though there were many cherry trees in the park, there was one tree, one massive one that stood over the others in the center of the park, that I really grew fond of. Whenever I sat at its base, my mind would become blank, and all my worries would fade away so long as I remained there. The tree turned into my haven, and I tried to visit it every afternoon. Without it, I do not believe I would have survived as long as I have in this world where everyone shared the same strand of dejection. Out of habit, I set my bag against the massive tree before placing myself down among its roots, unaware and uncaring of the time. Thankfully, there were no rules against being on the grass, so I knew I would not be bothered. Instantly, my body relaxed, as well as my mind, as I fell into the base's calming embrace. However, the thoughts of the girl remained. I guess she must have made a bigger impression on me than I thought. I muttered to myself before feeling my eyelids grow heavy, sleep threatening to overtake me. After a weak effort to maintain awareness, I shut my eyes from the world, fading into the depths of subconscious. The next thing I knew, I was awake. Or, at least, I thought I was. I found myself standing in an open field with tall blades of gray grass all around me, a cloud-ridden melancholic sky overhead. I didn't know where I was, nor did I know why I was there. All I knew was that I was alone again, but this time in a cold and desolate world, where there was no one to see me, no one to care for me, no one to even talk to me. That was my cruel reality, and I had to accept it.
Are you sure?
The words were said by a minute, childlike voice from behind me. For whatever reason, I did not bother to turn around to see who was speaking. I was sure I had recognized my current world, a world where I was invisible.
But that girl talked to you.
So what if the girl talked to me? I was nothing to her. I was nothing to everyone, including my parents.
You defended her.
I was bored. And the man may have not intended to touch her in the first place.
Are you sure?
About the man, no. But about why I did it, yes.
She seemed really grateful.
I do not care.
Are you sure? Are you sure? She seemed really grateful. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? But that girl you talked to, you defended her. She seemed really grateful.
No, I'm not sure. Stop asking me that. I don't know why I helped her out. I don't know why she would even thank me. I don't know, and I don't care. I exploded at the voice behind me, frustration taking the best of me. After snapping, I quickly turned around to see who I was yelling at. There was no one there. Confused beyond belief, my knees suddenly felt weak, and I dropped down onto the dark gray ground, panting. Around me, the world remained the same. The grass, the sky, the dirt. Everything remained gray. Trying to recover, a chill ran down my spine right as the voice returned to speak to me again, inches from my ear.
Are you sure?
Thrashing, I came out of my dream and returned to reality, detaching myself quickly from the cherry tree. Sweat covering my forehead, I gasped for air, suddenly feeling like I had ran miles without stopping once. Immediately, questions about what had occurred began to manifest in my head, overcoming any other thought. Grasping my face desperately, I fell back into the tree, trying to maintain my fading sanity. No one seemed to notice. Even in anguish, I was alone. And then, my mind went blank. I remained how I was, frozen, for some time. After minutes passed, I looked up at the cherry tree, a single blossom landing on my forehead. Empty of emotions, I sighed and got up. There was another crow there, staring down at me from one of the tree's branches, studying me like the last one. I did not bother wondering why.